So welcome everyone to the series finale Kimbits Wrap Party. My name is Chi-Hung, and I run the Kimbits 416 Twitter and Instagram account. And we did this for the season 5 premiere. We had a party to kick things off, and there was a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of good feelings. And now we're kind of in this place where, we're happy for the series, but we're kind of let down the way that things kind of abruptly ended, and there won't be a season 6. But I think it took a little bit of time for all of us to kind of catch our breath and be in a place where we're ready to celebrate. So I think we'll get things kicked off. So joining me tonight as co-host is Mike. Kimbit Mike, he is a host of What You Talkin' podcast. He's usually has Ruby as his co-host, but they're new parents, so Ruby has to take care of the little one.
Hopefully she'll be able to join us soon, but hey everyone, glad to see everybody on tonight. So many people, so many recognizable names here.
And new names as well. We're always happy to welcome new fans and Kimbits into the fold. And so this is, I'll just go over the sort of the outline for our wrap party, and then we can get going to some of the more interactive fun that we have in store. So we'll start with introductions. So that's the socials and all of that sort of stuff, followed by audience interaction. So that's why you need your other device to go to menti.com, enter in the room code you see above there, and then you'll be able to participate. We have a somewhat challenging Kimbit Cup quiz. I don't think it was as difficult as the first one I did for the premiere party, but we do have prizes, some great prizes, which we'll go into momentarily. After the quiz, we'll have what are called Mingle Sessions. That's basically breakout rooms where there'll be 10 groups of 5, and you'll get time to interact with one another, meet your fellow Kimbits, so that'll be fun. And we'll see how we're doing for time. I'm looking to wrap this up around 10 p.m. Eastern time. So if we have time, we might do a second round. And then we'll end things off with a series of thank yous. So when you registered for this event, you would have put in whether you wanted to speak. And if you did, sort of a brief description of what you wanted to talk about. So I've already compiled a list of about a dozen of you. So I'll call upon you when it's time. And if you'd like to, you can turn on your microphone and video and start talking then. If you've had a change of heart, then you can also politely decline. And for those of you who stay all the way till the end, there is a super secret door prize. Mike doesn't even know what it is.
Yeah, I have no idea. I asked him and he's like, I'm keeping it a secret, so.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I mean, I'd like to win it. I think I'm eligible. I don't know, like in the off chance, like my name's not actually there. My wife will be part of the draw if she stays to the end. So we'll take care of that once we get to that part. All right, so let's get going. So let's see, there's another Karen in the waiting room there. So we'll go to the next slide. Hopefully everyone has their Menti installed. Again, just some brief introductions. What is a Kimbits? If you don't know by now, a Kimbit is a fan of Kim's convenience. It was a term coined by Richard Lee, right?
Yeah.
Fact checking here. Yeah.
Stephen said yes.
Yes. It was at that. It was. We met him at the first Kim's convention down when we met at the group of us met at the store.
Right.
Yeah, he played a staged version of Chiang,
right, in the final run with Paul and Gene. Yeah.
Right. So just a quick intro to Stephen. He also helps contribute to the Kimbits 416 Twitter account. He sort of looks after the cast announcements and that sort of thing. And he also is involved with the Facebook group mentioned here, Friends Who Like Kim's Convenience. That group was started by Jay Lee. Is he in attendance?
I don't think he is.
He's not? Okay.
No.
I believe he signed up, so hopefully we'll see him later tonight. So as mentioned, we have a Twitter, Kimbits at 416. Same for the Instagram. Instagram is more geared towards Kim's Convenience art. I know I've sort of slacked off a little bit, so I'll try to get back on that to promote the artwork from talented fans. We do have a website as well, kimbits.org. So it runs off of WordPress, and so we host blogs as well as YouTube videos. I know several of you have made videos, sort of reaction videos to the series finale of Kim's Convenience. So if you're interested in doing that, we're happy to host that on our page. It's just an easy to find page for not only videos, but also for blogs. So if you don't feel comfortable recording yourself on video, you can always, write a blog and submit it to us. Okay. Podcast, of course. So Mike, so the news was that there will be another season.
Yeah. So I didn't plan to do a new season of the podcast so soon, but with the end of the show, we decided, you know what, there are probably a few things we could talk about. So yeah, if anyone wants to listen to a podcast about Kim's, you can look up What You Talking Podcast on Apple, Google, Spotify, any of the major things. Look it up, or just find me on Twitter and ask me where to find it.
Right. And so Mike also started the petition that can be found on savekimsconvenience.com. Last I checked, we were at 7,000?
Yes, so we're just about to hit 7,500. So of course, if you know anybody that would sign it, just forward it to them. Even if, I mean, the situation of the show ending is sort of a tough subject, and all the cast has said various things about it. But at the very least, maybe that's your way to say goodbye to the show. So sign it, share your feelings.
Right. So let's continue on. So this is a fun, interactive way to icebreaker, we'll call this. So this is a picture of the actual Kim's Convenience store in downtown Toronto. So the activity here is, if you haven't already, go to menti.com with another device, enter in the room code 877-8196. You're a guest inside of the store, so you are permitted to have one freebie. So any item that you see in here, using your mouse or your phone, your finger, tap and submit the item that you would like for free. So, I mean, I think I'm partial to the Pringles cans. I see there's a sour cream and onion above the fridge. There's some, cold pop, lots of chocolate bars if you're into that. Further up, I see there's Toronto Maple Leafs hat. I don't know why anyone want to wear that. There's a Blue Jays cap. There's some mints, Tic Tacs.
A lot of people going for chocolate. I take all those lotto tickets, but I already selected that sign in the back.
Yeah. So it looks like, I can see the number 2. So maybe those are some repeat. There's some Coke that's been selected, Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah, take the lottery machine.
There's a cash register visible.
That's
so
true.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's the Reese peanut butter cups in like 3 locations.
The person who picked the mirror is probably the most practical out of all of us. It's like, I can actually use this at home.
Yeah, Anna's a fan of the peanut butter cups. And Coffee Crisp, yes, and that's my favorite chocolate bar as well. So yeah, so that was fun. So let's Coffee Crisp. It's a chocolate bar I guess you can only get in Canada, Eugene. You got to try it sometime. It's sort of it's to the very bottom right of the screen. I don't know if you can see it. Generally my favorite. Okay, let's go to the next slide. All right, so this is a word cloud generator. So you can enter up to 3 words that describe your emotions when you discovered the news that there would be no season 6. The more often a word is repeated, the larger it grows. So you can get a visualization of everyone's emotions based on the word cloud. So the first person.
Ooh,
oh, here we come.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I guess sad is the big thing here, and shocked.
Yeah, and it looks like
emotional.
I can mouse over, and or at some point I was able to see names. A lot of sadness for sure, disappointment, shocked, disbelief.
Broken Business Awards. That's awesome.
Confusion.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to a lot of fans about this, and that pretty much wraps it up. That's, other than Broken Business Awards, I haven't seen that, but everything else pretty much is what everyone's feeling.
Yeah,
Thankful.
and angry is there. I mean, anger, obviously. Someone is sketching with the annotate tool. Yeah, it's, you know, amongst the cast as well. I mean, obviously, if you've watched any of the reaction videos, you got a lot of anger because it was cut short. I mean, it's one thing if season 6 wasn't already greenlit, but it was, and so the cast was fully, and the crew, you know, everyone involved is fully expecting for there to be at least a 6th season, and
I had no idea that Simu was angry. No idea at all. Yeah, if you follow Simu on Instagram or Twitter, he was probably one of the more vocal ones, but yeah, they were all pretty disappointed at the end.
All right, so thank you for your contributions. Let's go to the next slide. So we have some cast members with future projects, and in fact, we just had Shang-Chi drop the trailer, or Marvel, I should say, drop the trailer for Shang-Chi. So what we're asking here is for you to rank the upcoming projects from most excited to least. So Andrew Fung has his own CBC half-hour comedy called Run the Burbs. How do we get rid of that green line? We'll figure that out later. Strays is a convenient spin-off starring Nicole Power. It will be based on the character of Shannon Ross. Details are limited, but I don't want to spoil anything, so we'll just wait for the season. I believe both series will be on CBC sometime in 2022.
Run the Burbs for sure. Nothing on Strays yet. They've been, everything's been a bit quiet about that.
I think that might be 2022. I read somewhere that they were filming in Hamilton and they were wrapping that up. Like they were wrapping up.
Yeah, and then the last option was Carson Teva cameo or spinoff. So Carson Teva was Paul's character in The Mandalorian. There are a lot of spin-offs and different Star Wars properties. And was it Rangers of the New Republic is a possibility for Carson Teva. So, you know, with Paul's availability, it seems more likely, but nothing's been announced. So we'll see. And, you know, based on the results here, we see that Shang-Chi has the most excitement, followed by Run the Burbs and Carson Teva. So next slide. All right, so this is the What You Talking page. Sorry, Mike, I stole the podcast name here. But basically, this is a slider page. 4 statements. If you agree, slide it to the right to number 5. If you don't agree, or if you think you can do better, keep it at the one on the left. So the first statement is, I have recommended Kim's Convenience to others. If you've shared the love, give it a 5. If you've watched it by yourself and don't, you know what? If you're here, there's no reason you put a 1 for that. So that's kind of irrelevant. Second statement, there will be a future reunion season or movie.
That's a 2.5 right now.
It's too raw. I think it's too soon to know for sure. But there has been a lot of comedy reboot, refreshes, whatever you want to call it, recently. Saved by the Bell, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Will and Grace, you know, a bunch of stuff. So over time, if there's cast availability and if it's, you know, the creator of the show, if he feels up to it, you know, maybe it'll happen. Next point is, I have or will support the cast in other projects. So if you are fans of the actors, of the individuals, and you want to watch their future works, then certainly give them a 5.
Look at that, 4.7. That's awesome. I mean, they always appreciate the support. If you ever talk to them on Twitter or social media, generally they really appreciate all that love.
Yeah, and in fact, the the overwhelming majority of the cast, they are already doing other things. And not just the main cast. You know, Mike Musi has his own CBC Gem series, and it's fantastic if you like horror suspense. Again, I can't remember the name. Steven, do you know the name of that series?
Something Undone.
Undone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of like creeped me out a little bit.
Yeah, I watched it with my wife. She's not big into, you know, horror or scary stuff, but they're short. It's entirely bingeable. Yeah, Karen says I was creeped out. And what was neat was, like, as the credits roll, like, stuff still happened. So, like, keep your ears open. I thought it was great. And the last point is Asian representation on TV will grow. You know, we kind of went through this golden age of Asian representation with not only Kim's Convenience, but, you know, Fresh Off the Boat, Dr. Ken, Second Gen. We had Blood and Water, Marco Polo on Netflix. And now we have, you know, Warriors entering a season 3, and we have the reboot of Kung Fu starring a female lead.
Yeah,
but
I love that show.
Yeah, the previous one, you know, The Legend Continues, that was starring David Carradine. That was filmed in Toronto years ago.
Yeah, I love the update. Oh my gosh, so good.
So I mean, Hawaii Five-0 as well. I mean, there was lots of great shows, but a lot of them are going away. And will we see? You know, was that just a flash in the pan, or are we kind of here to stay? So, you know, I mean, 3.7. It seems fairly optimistic, so that's good. Agents of Shield, of course, had two, at least two Asian cast members. So, you know, maybe not an all Asian family or cast, but we certainly have characters in popular mainstream shows. So that's good to see. All right, so we'll move on to the next. So we're just about to start trivia. So trivia will be done using the Menti platform. So again, if you have not logged into Menti, give you a little bit of time to do that now as we go through the prizes. Room code is up above. So same format, there will be 4 multiple choice questions. You will be scored based on how quickly you can answer. Obviously, the quicker you can reply, the more points you get. You are not penalized for incorrect answers, so you won't get a negative score. And I believe there are 17 questions. Hopefully this goes smoothly. I haven't tested this with Mike yet either, because I wanted to see how he would fare going up against the rest of you. Kathy says it goes by too fast. She was the winner from the premiere party, so she's the one to beat, possibly. Eugene, you got to watch out for him. And I purposely didn't include any season 5 questions. So for any American or international Kimbits, you will not be disadvantaged by this quiz. So let's talk about the prizes. Okay, so third place will get a set of 2 Kim's Convenience postcards. You can either have it as a keepsake or you can mail them. The artwork is done by Matthew Fleming. He's done a series of great, you know, convenience store themed artwork. Mike, you've had him on your podcast as well.
Yeah, so Matt's done a lot of poster or like fan artwork during seasons 1 through 3, and basically they're neat little things. Like if you notice on the postcard, you know, the ravioli 2 for 2, he would do a poster for a particular episode, and you can catch him at Black T-Shirt on Twitter, something like that.
Yeah, and his website is here, Matthew J. Fleming.
That too.
He wasn't a sponsor, but I thought this is a pretty neat gift if you don't already have them. So moving on to the next prize. Oops, I just clicked off of there. All right, here we go. So for second place, it's the Kim's Convenience play in paperback format. This is autographed by Paul Sun-Hyung Lee, who of course plays Appa. And Mike is holding it, floating it around. That is the actual book you will receive. It's donated by Mike. So thank you for providing the prize for second place, published by House of Anansi in Toronto. So something I think that's pretty cool about that book is not only does it have the script, but there are some comments from the creators and from Paul as well towards the end of the book.
And if you haven't seen the play, it's a really good read, because the Kim's Convenience play, of course, that spawned the TV show. And the play, in my mind, is the gold standard. So even though it's got his autograph on it, I would give it a read. It's awesome.
Yeah. So don't seal it. I mean, if you win this, don't seal it in a bag, or it's worth going through for sure. Eugene says he doesn't think that's included in the version of the book he has.
Maybe this is a newer version that they released after the TV show. So I don't know. I have another copy of it somewhere, so I'll go check that out. I'll let you know, Eugene.
Yeah, Daniel says he has both versions. Okay, so let me just make sure I have my notes here ready. So first place prize is this pillowcase that many of you Kimbits already have. So thank you for supporting local. So if this image is familiar to you, then you've watched the series finale. I don't think this is too much of a spoiler, but this image was used in the show. And so the prize is this pillowcase that's made from, it's made in Montreal from durable washable canvas. Now, if you are a Toronto resident, it will also include a pillow insert. The image was created by a local photographer, Henry Vanderspeck. You can find him at CultureSnap on Instagram, and his e-commerce site is shopculturesnap.ca. And what I think is really cool is that until May 14th, he will be donating 50% of the profits from these pillowcase sales to charities that fight anti-Asian hate. So eliminate hate.org and covidracism.ca. Of course, that's top of mind for a lot of us in the Asian community. You've heard about the violence and the just negativity directed towards us, on top of being frightened about COVID. I mean, it's a double whammy. So we certainly appreciate Henry donating profits to a very charitable cause. Now, if you win this and you're located outside of Toronto, he will mail you the prize. Or if you like to order some pillowcases for yourself, it comes with, I believe, free shipping if you order 2 or more pillowcases. So definitely thank you, Henry, for sponsoring the grand prize for today's trivia contest. I see there's Chris in the waiting room. We'll let him in.
I got him.
James. So we got some latecomers. I'll give them a few moments just so they can participate in this trivia. So just to review, get your phones, your devices ready. I'll go to the next slide. It won't officially start until I hit next, but oh, it looks like, oh, great. So we have icons, so people have already registered. I don't know how many of these are. Oh, it says 21 here. Okay, so that's great. So we have 21, 22 participants. We have 31. Mike, you can participate as well, of course. I'll handle the quiz here. So for the latecomers, we're just about to start the quiz. We have 17 questions, multiple choice. Speed matters. There is no negative point scoring. Top 3 scores at the end will win the prizes described earlier. Pillowcase, first prize, autographed book, second prize, and postcards for the third prize. So I think we're about ready. 25. All right. So I'm one of the participants. Okay, anyway, so you can still catch up even if you missed the first question. So we'll get going. 26, all right, great. All right, first question. Oops, sorry, oh, I already messed it up. Okay, sorry, okay, here we go. What treats did Appa bake for the church fundraiser?
Ooh, this is a tough one.
Canned ravioli, egg tarts, healthy cookies, Nanaimo bars.
Small hint. It's probably not ravioli.
Time's up. And most of you got it right. Nanaimo bars.
Nanaimo bars.
Sorry, mispronunciation. You say it that way, I say it the other way. So just a hint for these quizzes going forward is that typically one answer is obviously wrong. I'm not trying to trick anyone. So if something looks like it doesn't belong, it probably doesn't. All right. Next one. So we do have a leaderboard. So currently at first is,
Ooh,
it's really
Bum.
tight. It's Bum Bum. All right, next question. Yeah, this quiz is really finicky. I'm afraid to skip ahead. Okay, who was the only one who listed Amma as their emergency contact? Was it Appa, Janet, Kimchi, or sketchy looking dude?
Yeah, I'd be concerned if it was sketchy looking dude.
Well, he has to have someone as his emergency contact. But then again, where is he working? We're not really sure. So all but one of you received the correct answer, Kimchi. Thank you, Anne, for providing a link to the pillow store in the chat. And it looks like Bum Bum maintains the lead. Next question. There you go. What did John gift Shannon for their 5-week anniversary? Was it Appa's spoon, Gerald's waterbed, Kimchi's necklace, or Terrence's jigsaw puzzle? Time's up. Answer was Kimchi's necklace. So that was the one that he was going to give Gwen. And then Jung panicked and decided, well, that would make a good gift for Shannon.
Yeah, they still never revealed how much he paid for that.
Yeah, the price seemed to keep going up and up.
I think.
There's a switch in the leaderboard. It's Brandi who's now first.
Ooh, congrats, Brandi.
Too much indeed, too much. All right, next question. What school did Janet attend for photography? Does that even make sense? I think so. Harvard University, OCAD University, Ryerson University, or University of Waterloo?
OCAD University.
Please tap in your answers. And the answer is OCAD. All right. So please refrain from shouting out the answers. This is not The Price is Right, just because we have some great gifts and we are great prizes, I should say. So I know there's quite the competitive bunch here. So Brandi maintains her lead. Move on to the next question. What was Kimchi's last name revealed to be? Was it Han, Kimchi, Pham, or Fung?
I like how you threw in one of the names in there. Was it a little, I guess, sort of an Easter egg for his next show?
Yeah, we'll talk about that. So it is Kimchi Han. For a while, I thought Kimchi might have been his last name, right? So Pham is the last name of his new show. I believe he will be Andrew on the show. Maybe Andrew.
Yeah, he's going to be Andrew Pham. Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course Fung is his actual last name. Oh, look at that leaderboard; it's really tight.
Wow, you top three have lightning hands.
Question 6. Who was Shannon's blonde friend that Jung showed interest in? Was it Gwen, Katie, Marlo, or not Melissa? The correct answer is Katie. Now, Katie is played by Gwyn Phillips, so could be a little bit of confusion with Gwyn and Gwen. Gwen, of course, is Kimchi's girlfriend on the show. Yeah. Oh, some movement there. Bumblebee gets
Ooh,
back on the side.
Kathy, she just bumped me. I'm watching you, Kathy.
All right, there you go.
I had to sign in as Ted. I don't know why.
That's okay, Chris.
Question 7. What is Paul Sun-Hyung Lee's YouTube show called?
Ooh, tough question.
My Creaky Baseboard, My Geeky Basement, My Greek Spacements, or My Squeaky Baseball? Correct answer is My Geeky Basement.
Wow, you guys are killing this.
Yeah. It only gets harder. So the rest of these questions are based on the actors rather than the characters. So we did the characters in the first round, and now we're going into the actors. So question 8. What book did Paul champion on Canada Reads?
Ooh, this is a tough one.
Cosplay for Dummies, Hench, Johnny Appleseed, or Tatooine? So apologies to non-Canadians. The answer was Hench. There is no Cosplay for Dummies book. Johnny Appleseed was the book that actually won, but Tatooine is also an actual book. So 3 of the books were on the list, but Hench was the one that Paul had championed.
I need Cosplay for Dummies.
Paul could probably write that book.
Yeah, he probably could, considering all his Star Wars cosplay that he has.
Yeah, it's Ghostbusters, among other things. So question 9. Which famous Asian personality did Eugene Yun once portray on stage? Was it Kelly Marie Tran, Sandra Oh, Vera Wang, or Yoko Ono?
You're not kidding. These questions are getting harder. Oh, look at that, though.
Oh, everyone seemed to know that. Yoko Ono, that's right.
Yeah.
Back in the year 2000. And it was a bit controversial because of I've never seen it, but the advertisements show a different side of Gene.
Yeah, you can find those easily. Just follow Gene on Twitter.
Don't
You will
tell
see.
Appa. Kevin says don't tell Appa.
That cover came out on my birthday.
Oh, there's a change in the leaderboard. Mike.
Yeah, you know what? Just for the record, I'm not taking any of the prizes. I'm just participating.
Me neither.
Okay, next question. Question 10. Oh, I'm always afraid to tap ahead too quickly here. Okay, here we go. Gene recently adopted a rescue puppy from Antigua named what?
Ooh,
Is it
damn.
Chopa, Emma, Scarlet, or Toda?
I actually had to guess this one. Yeah, I'm on the 50-50 there.
So the correct answer is Emma. Chopa is Simu's rescue dog
Right.
that he got from the Dominican.
And his girlfriend's dog is Dutch.
Yes.
So good of you to join us, Ruby. Are you helping out Mike with the answers?
No, I'm sure he knows it better than I do.
No, she's the one holding the phone.
Ah.
How come
Now-
you put Carol in there?
If you notice the theme, can anyone detect the theme with the other names? Emma, Scarlett, Tilda.
Mm.
So Emma Stone, Scarlett Johansson, Tilda Swinton.
Yeah.
Is it Swinton.
Yeah.
So they all the 3 of them played Asian characters. In the movie.
Tilda Swinton wasn't Asian in that. She was Gaelic.
Well, maybe perhaps an original.
Well,
Instead
the
of
original.
ancient one being Asian.
So that was just a little fun. Yeah, there. Ooh.
Ooh, Ted
Oh.
takes the lead. Chris
time.
takes the lead.
Were you able to join in time, Chris?
I missed the first question.
Oh, look at
Wow.
That's why it took me a while.
that. Well, you certainly caught up in a big way. Question 11. Shimulu and Aquafina reunite in Shang-Chi. What was his role on her TV show? Was it Banana
Oof.
Boy, Garbage Boy, Milkman, or Noodle Vendor?
That's a terrible picture.
Having trouble concentrating with that picture.
The answer is Garbage Boy. Now, Banana Boy was the name of a book that was written, and I believe that Simu might have actually been on the stage version of that.
Oh
really?
yeah, like he did a short stage run, I think in Manitoba or something,
Oh.
or Saskatchewan.
Oh wow.
Noodle Vendor, Willie was his character's name on Fresh Off the Boat. And Milkman, well, if you looked up a picture of Simu in Aquafina's show, Aquafina's Nora from Queens, he does jug a bottle of milk, but he never technically played a character named Milkman.
Mm.
That's how Eugene got confused. Ah, that's right. I put that in for just that reason.
I also will pass on prizes down the line. I don't need to have the prize.
Thanks, Chris.
Well, Mike is passing it on. I'm passing it on. So whoever comes after us.
So Simu appeared with whom in a black and white Stop Asian Hate video to promote GoFundMe.org's
Ooh.
AAPI community fund.
Wait.
Uh-oh.
It only let me pick one. Oh no.
So
Lose all my
they
credit.
are actually all
Oh wow.
correct. And so I wanted to kind of highlight the significance of this, and I didn't want to make light of it too much, or just make it a trivia question. So just to go back to what was stated about this secondary virus that is happening with the Asian American hate. He did recently appear in this black and white video, which opened with Olivia Munn passing it to Ken and passing it to Simu. There's basically a lit candle in black and white. And actually, you know what? We have a bit of time. Let me just quickly share this video. And then because I think it's an important thing to highlight. So let me just cue this up.
On March 16th, 2021, 6 women were among the victims of a horrific shooting in Georgia. They were grandmothers, mothers, daughters, sisters, and wives. They were killed because they were Asian. But anti-Asian violence is not new. It is part of our collective memory.
As the families in Georgia mourn and memorialize the lives of their loved ones, we remember the history of racism our community has faced. In 1875, the Page Act passes, banning Chinese women from entering the United States. It's the first federal law to limit immigration.
In 1882, the Chinese Exclusion Act passes, prohibiting Asian immigrants from becoming U.S. citizens. Its discriminatory practices survive for over 80 years. In 1885, 28 Chinese Americans are lynched and murdered in Rock Springs, Wyoming.
1930. Across California, hundreds of Filipino-American farm workers injured and scores killed by rioters. 1942. 120,000 Japanese Americans incarcerated in concentration camps by our own government.
1982. Vincent Chin beat to death by 2 men with a baseball bat right before his wedding. Mistaken for being Japanese, accused of stealing their jobs. 1989, 5 Vietnamese and Cambodian children killed, more than 30 wounded. Stockton, California.
In the wake of September 11, 2001, attacks against Muslims and South Asians Search. 2012. 6 Sikh Americans killed in a temple in Oak Creek, Wisconsin.
This past year, almost 4,000 incidents of anti-Asian violence, including murders of our elders simply walking in their own neighborhoods.
Memory is the antidote to death. Solidarity is the answer to silence.
As activist Valerie Kaur once asked, what if this is not the darkness of the tomb, but the darkness of the womb?
Today, we birth something new, knowing it's up to all of us to keep each other safe and shine a light together.
All right, well, thank you for your attention and thank you for allowing me to use this platform. I don't often get a platform like this, so I think it's important that we all watch that as a collective, and just to raise awareness, if nothing else. So, all right, so let's get on with the show here. So again, all the answers were correct. Just want to make sure everyone's ready for the next question. All right, so question 13 coming up. For which Olympics did Andrea Bang explore the host country for a series of CBC short videos? Is it Vancouver 2010, Sochi 2014, Pyeongchang 2018, or Beijing 2022? Sorry, I just wanted to check that I'm sharing the screen, and I am. So that's good. So yes, Pyeongchang 2018. Beijing hasn't happened yet. We're only in 2021. So it can't be that one. Oh, it says I'm not sharing. Can you all see the?
No, we're not seeing it.
All right.
It's all right.
Sorry about that. Let's try it again. Hopefully that didn't
There we
impact
go.
you. Are you good now?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, looks like that transition wasn't quite smooth, but hopefully you saw the questions on your devices.
Yeah, I believe the series, it was called Annyeong Andrea. So you can catch most of them on YouTube, I think, still.
Yeah, on CBC's account probably. Oh, Chris is still in first. I think Ted is the default name if you don't choose one.
So there could have been multiple Teds.
Question 14. We're getting close to the end, so we'll see if we get some separation coming up. Andrea appeared in which 2019 movie with Naomi Watts?
Ooh.
Was it Diana, Funny Games, Loose, or Strange Planet?
You're making them work for these prizes, Chiang.
Yeah, it's not easy. I mean, we started off easy, but you got to know the cast pretty well. So the correct answer is Loose. So the other movies listed here are in fact Naomi Watts movies. So Diana was about Princess Diana. Diana is also Andrea Bang's sister's name. Funny Games is similar to Inanimate Funnies. Andrea's sort of stop motion cartoon, not really a cartoon, stop motion animation.
Yeah.
And then Strange Planet sounds awfully close to Planet Janet, which was one of her nicknames. So it kind of worked out with Naomi Watts.
Where's Lisa?
Kimbit Lisa? Yeah, she couldn't make it. She had something come up.
We went to see Loose together.
Oh.
Question 15. Yeah, that was I saw it on. Andrew Fong had a recurring role on which Canadian TV series? That Anne with an E, Walk with Yan, Working Moms, or Winona Earp?
Walk with you. Wow, that takes me back.
That's your hint, everyone.
Yeah, Walk with Yan was set in the early to mid 80s, I believe. So the quick answer was Winona Earp.
I would like to see him in Anne with a Knee. Like, what kind of character would he play? But it'd be interesting. Yeah, Working Moms had a lot of Kim's people in it. There was Rodrigo in there and Amanda Brugel. I think at least one or two other people.
Mike, you took the lead back.
Yes,
Only-
Salguero.
Yes, right. From
Yep.
Sneak Attack.
Two
Sorry.
questions left. Where was Strays, Kim's Convenience spinoff starring Nicole Power filmed? Is it Hamilton, Ontario, New York City, New York, Seoul, Korea, Toronto, Ontario? Now, if you joined us early on, you would have heard the answer from somebody. The answer is Hamilton, Ontario.
Makes me wonder why.
Yeah,
But
why Hamilton?
yeah, I mean, Hamilton isn't
It's cheaper.
Toronto.
It
It's
probably is
actually
'cause it's
one of the
cheaper.
emerging big film cities in Canada.
Karen says low COVID cases. Probably.
They
That's
shoot
what
some
I'm
of the
missing.
boys there too.
I'm missing the
Oh,
chat.
okay.
I couldn't follow this great
And Murdoch.
commentary on the side.
Yeah, they filmed quite a bit of Murdoch there.
Oh, Colin has been waiting in the waiting room.
Yeah. I sent him. I accepted him, but he's rejoined a few times at this point.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
two of them. I see. Okay.
Oh,
All right. So he is here.
Give it a time.
That's right. Okay. One more question to go. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask here. And the final question. The actress who played Janet's love interest in Tanzania has what first name? Sorry, this is a season 5 question.
Ooh.
Was it Aya, Gabriella, Melissa, or Sydney?
You know what? I actually don't know this one.
what? Isn't it? Oh,
I don't know.
I thought it was.
I'm not sure.
We just watched that episode.
No, but it's an actress's name.
Oh, sorry.
So yeah, apologies. There were not supposed to be season 5 spoilers. Yeah. Okay, so Anne makes a good point. My stance on spoilers is this: if you have not watched something and you read about it or you see about it, just give it some time. And if you're an old guy like me, by the time you watch it, you'll forget that you ever learned about it in the first place. So I think 3 months is a good amount of time to let pass, and then you'll be like, oh, wait a minute, this is new. I saw this before. It was a spoiler. I don't remember. So that's my stance.
I'm rewatching season 5 now, and it's like I remember seeing this, but I don't remember the details.
Yeah.
Right.
Same here. I'm like, oh, I missed that.
So okay, so let's give a little bit of detail before we see sort of the final final leaderboard. So the way this breaks down is Janet's love interest. Her name was Tamsin. So Tamson. If you rearrange the letters in Tamsin, you get not Sam. So Sam was not her real name. In fact, it was Melissa. So her real name is Melissa Cottrell, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. As for the other names you see there, Aya is actually not Melissa's real name. Gabriella, of course, is Chelsea's real name. And Sydney, you know what? I don't remember. Who's Sydney?
I recognize it, but I don't remember why.
Yeah, that was a tough one. I guess Sydney. I was one of those
Did you?
9. Yeah, because I'm like,
it'll come back to me. So Janet has kissed Chelsea, and And Aya is not Melissa's real name. Anyways, we'll just move. I'll figure it out. I'll let you guys know who Sydney represented.
What do you guys think of my idea that not Melissa's real name is Malala?
Malala?
Yeah. She's that famous girl activist. Sounds a little bit like Melissa. Yay, Mike.
So Mike is the winner.
Well, I'm not
prize.
taking it, so whoever's next.
He's passing on it. Oh, what happened? Why isn't the rest of the leaderboard? Sorry, I skipped ahead. Let's see this again. Yeah, I just got a pro account of this. It's called Mentimeter, and I don't know all the controls.
I use it at work. I use it at work, and it's great.
Yeah, I think so too. So it only shows the first prize here?
Yeah.
Well, you can kind of see it
I can see in the background. All right, so Steve you've
won.
taken over since Micah's, he's passed on the prize, but so you get the pillowcase. So Chris, you are second. Are you accepting the book?
You're on mute.
You're on mute, Chris.
The play?
Yes.
You could pass it on if you want to. I've read it a number of times.
Well, the next winner is Karen Lee. So
Yay,
she'll either.
Karen, congrats.
I want it. Thank you.
All right. So thank you, Chris, for passing on the
Thanks,
prize.
Chris. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Chiang. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, congrats, Karen. And then we had third place as Jasmine. So
Congrats,
congratulations
Jasmine.
to the top three.
Woo.
Kathy,
Thank
oh, you
you.
came so close. You were fourth this time, and
wow.
Well, I guess you can't win them all, right? So congrats. I'm gonna take a screenshot because
It was
as
that last question.
Yeah,
the last question that cost
was
you?
a hard one.
Yeah.
I guessed that one.
Yeah, I don't know. That was sort of the first question I had. Eugene says he's agonizing in this defeat. Yeah, there's no friend answers in this quiz, unfortunately. So you basically, if you didn't see season 5, well, you know what? Even if you saw season 5, I don't think it would help you too much with that last question. It was pretty tough. So, all right. So just to do a time check, so we're at 9:30. So now we are beginning our Mingle session. So again, that will be breakout rooms. So the aim is to have about 5, no more than 5 per room. We'll get 10 minutes. And so if you can spend about 2 minutes each, just introducing yourselves, maybe talking about either how you discovered Kim's Convenience or what it means to you. You can talk about character, anything like that. And if you can sort of establish a representative from your group who will speak to the larger collective of us. And then when the 10 minutes is done, we'll reconvene here, and then we'll have a bit of a sharing session. Okay, thanks Jasmine, for joining us. And just a note, I'll pause the recording. There will be no recording of the breakout room. So if you want to talk about something more personal or private, by all means, there won't be anyone. There won't be anyone recording. So let me just quickly set up the breakout rooms. So as I mentioned, we are going to have, let's see how many up there. There's 30 of us, so 6 works out perfectly. So great. And we'll set aside 10 minutes, and there will be a 60-second warning. Stop sharing. And then, all right, here we go. So welcome back, everyone. I know I was cut off mid sentence. Yeah, 10 minutes goes by really quickly. But hopefully you all got to learn a little bit more about yourselves and other Kimbits. And just wanted to take this opportunity. If anyone, I don't even know if you had time to elect a representative to speak on your group's behalf.
Really?
If so, I will invite you to just maybe if I don't know, I don't want multiple people talking at once, but if you want to go ahead and start talking.
You can actually say group 1, group 2, because everyone had a room number, right?
Would people remember their group number?
We were 6.
Yeah, we were 6. Yeah.
Okay, let's start with group 6 then. Did you have a rep for group 6?
No.
Well, we just sort of jumped in because I always barrel into those kind of things.
Go for it, Mike.
So if you wanted to speak, you certainly can. What we can do is in the chat, if you would like to volunteer for your group, please write in the chat, and then we'll go that way. So we're not pressuring everyone, especially if we weren't prepared. So it looks like
Eugene's for 2.
Yeah, volunteered for 2.
He's laughing hysterically. So yeah, pick Eugene for group 2.
Oh no, it's Kevin, isn't it? He was volunteered by Eugene.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Sorry, I read that wrong.
You read it backwards.
All right, Kevin, the floor is yours if you want to.
All right, so hi, I'm Kevin, and we had a group of 4, Eugene, Alice, and Brandi. Eugene and I are both from the US, and we were both learned about the show like from the very beginning in 2016. Me through some Canadian friends who were posting about it on Facebook, and Eugene saw some of the promos on YouTube. And then Alice and Brandi are both in Canada. Brandi spent some time in Louisiana as well, but they also discovered the show. Well, Brandi discovered it from The Mandalorian, first learning of seeing Paul and how Paul looked like one of her friends, and then Alice through the commercials early on. She mentioned in Vancouver she was able to meet cast when they came out to promo the show out there, and partied with them on a boat. So pretty cool. For most of us, like for 3 of us, the show is very personal in the sense that a lot of the themes were, resonated with our own personal lives. For Eugene, he had a brother who was like a prodigal son, and he kind of saw the whole Chiang Appa dynamic in his own brother's life. Unfortunately, his brother passed away, and so they weren't able to have that actual real life reconciliation. And I think just with season 5 ending, the show prematurely kind of had that same resonance. For Brandi, because she had discovered the show later on, it happened to coincide with, unfortunately, her cat having cancer, and I think the show was able to help her through that time. But again, losing the show as she's trying to deal with her cat and the cancer just hit really hard. And for myself, I'm assuming people have seen season 4, but at the very end, when Oma has her diagnosis, my own mother passed away from breast cancer about 10 years ago. And so I kind of just had that same feeling of, oh wow, like seeing what Jung and Janet must have been going through with their mom in my own life. And so it all touches us in very different ways, but all very meaningful. And so we're just all sad that the show's over.
Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that, Kevin. It's a lot of stories that you were able to, relate to and absorb. And it was, I think the loss of the show, it resonates differently with all of us, but I think the commonality is that it was a show about family, and that we could relate.
Also, how the heck did you cover all that in 10 minutes? Wow. Holy
One person
jeez.
dropped out, so yeah. So we had a little bit more time.
Okay.
That's great. So Steve, you looks like you're going to volunteer for group 1.
Yeah, they kind of railroaded me into it. No, I'm kidding. So in my group, we had Chris, Harmony, Karen, and Ron. So Karen, Chris, and myself, we're from the Toronto area.
Is that Karen Lee or Karen Ta?
Karen Ta. Harmony's from BC and Ron is from Virginia. So Ron is being really good, and he's done his best to be as spoiler free as possible because he's waiting for it to hit on Netflix.
Right.
We talked about really the shock of the announcement on the day of, and how it really feels. It hurt. I think we all share that sentiment. It hurt. It felt like, it felt like a family member, a loved one was just going, and going kind of like without that proper goodbye in that sense. We also talked about, Chris can now plot all his touring path so that when things kind of like get better here, come on down to Toronto, and let's hit Chris up for for a tour of all the different spots, because he actually found he's actually showing us a picture of so there's a picture on the wall in the Kim's living room of Uma, Janet, and Appa as I think she's graduating. Yeah, there he is. She's graduating in her graduation. The graduation picture. Chris was actually able to find that same location and take a picture of him at that location. He mentioned that it's actually is it at the original studio, the Lakeshore studio? There he is. There he is. Voila.
It's right outside the original studio.
There you go. And then just before things had ended, we were saying, Karen brought up a good point about Asian representation, and it led me to just bring up a point that I personally hoped, and I think we kind of share the same sentiment, but correct me if I'm wrong, that I hope that I had hoped that Inns felt comfortable, or could have felt comfortable, to kind of groom somebody, cause if he felt that kind of like season 5 would kind of be like, I'm gonna back away. And we actually, Chris brought up, Andrea might have been a good person to kind of groom her a little bit and take her, still have her in the front of the camera, but also groom her for the writing room, because I think she's a great writer, great creator. I've seen a lot of the stuff that she's created. So I felt that I had wished and I had hoped that it felt comfortable to be able to, pass along his wisdom and his knowledge, and be able and feel comfortable in kind of passing along his baby to someone for season 6. If there was no announcement of a season 6, okay, fine. But I just felt that, and I think we all do, that if we did have a season 6, it would have been a way for, to kind of soften the blow a little bit and be able to kind of accept, okay, the end's coming, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think that that's something a lot of us were sort of, caught off guard with, because we were promised season 6, right? And then just to have it for whatever reason, and now we don't have all of the facts, and it's easy to judge, and it's easy to say, this should have happened or that should have happened. And I know the cast are all processing in their own ways, and they're grieving and they're doing all that. But I think just for the purposes of, if we step back and we look at the series as a whole, I mean, without Kim's Convenience, there's no Kimbits, right? So we wouldn't be having this celebration. We wouldn't be having these get-togethers, these events, and these friendships, quite frankly. But thank you, Stephen, for speaking. I just want to move this along because I know we're getting close to end time. For my group, we had, where are you? Bum Bum.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. So we had a wonderful talk and some really great people. We had James, Maria, Sean from Los Angeles, and our illustrious host, Chi-Hung. We talked about our favorite characters mostly. Gerald came up from myself. And one thing, we talked a bit about Mr. Mehta, and just a couple of things that I heard from some interviews with him. He started off as a writer for CBC. Actually, in the mid 80s, he worked on Fraggle Rock with Jim Henson. And one of his first acting roles was a role that almost went to a young Howie Mandel, if you can believe that. And this role was for a Indian or brown person. And after Howie didn't work out, Sujit said, well, I can do it. And that's actually how he got the part. And it was a point of representation, but he said, you know, if Howie did work, they would have picked him. So that was something I really thought was interesting, that Sujit has been working on this for a long time. And my last point is that miraculously, everyone in our group had a collection of army spoons, and we all compared our time and doing that. So I'll end there.
All right, thanks for sharing. Any other groups want to go? I'm just going to go back to the.
Might as well.
I think Kathy
go ahead.
wanted to. I'll let Kathy go before me.
Please.
Oh, thanks, Mike. So I was in a room with Karen Lee, because Karen, the other one's already in another group, and Joe, who, it's so funny when you see people on Twitter all the time and then you see their full names here and you just don't make the connection. And Jackie, who is actually a new Kimbit, but probably has more street cred than all of us because she actually lives right around the corner from the store. And her house is like in the credits, and like she and Chris, I feel, would be great at like doing the photos of stuff because she knows where just about everything is in the neighborhood. But our big conversation, and we're lucky because it was just 4 people from the Toronto area, is that to see Toronto represented so accurately and to capture that multicultural immigrant experience was something that really resonated with all of us, being from Toronto and really seeing that brought to life on the screen. There's my quick summary of that.
Yeah, thanks, Kathy. What I wanted to share from the previous, I guess it ended up on the cutting room floor from the season 5 premiere party. We don't have time to show it here either, unfortunately, but there was this video where you had created a doll for Andrew Fung, and he was doing an unwrapping. So if you guys haven't seen that video, Kathy is featured prominently. She talks about her first experience meeting them, attending Fan Expo in Toronto, and then you get to see this pretty large toy, action figure or doll. I don't know.
Truth be told, and I think when Andrew posted it on Instagram, someone was like, is that like a life-size doll because of the way the photo was taken? Yeah. I converted a Ken doll. Andrew has a Ken doll of himself. And then, I've just done some kind of custom Funkos. So I think I was talking with a few people on Facebook about how the new Shang-Chi toys will make yes, making customizing Funkos a lot easier now.
Yeah, so Kathy's one of the talented artists, and obviously art doesn't take the form of the drawing and painting, but with toys and 3D forms of reenactments of or replicas of the stores or of characters. I mean, she's really talented. So go check it out if you haven't had a chance. Mike, did you say you wanted to?
Yeah, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to the people in our group. We had John, Maggie, and Anna. I've met Maggie back at Fan Expo where we had that kimchi moment, where kimchi's like, I met these great people in line, and literally that's where I met Maggie, and we chatted in line during that time, and we've been kind of going back and forth ever since. And we're always like, we should meet at Fan Expo again. But yeah. If that ever happens. If not, we've been throwing back KimCon, or Kim's Convenience Convention. So if that ever happens, hey, that'd be awesome. John, we spoke. It's my first time meeting John and Anna. Yeah, Anna's been around since the beginning as a fan. So yeah, I mean, everybody shares the same thing about the end of the show, but yeah, not everybody was willing to share their favorite character. But anyway, just wanted to share that.
Casey.
So thanks for that. We're coming close to the. Oh, sorry, did.
So can I get us to like introduce our group, because I think we have a lot of them.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna end it at 10. I just wanted to
okay.
give people sort of the timing of where we're at, but certainly, Anne, you can speak.
Oh
up.
sure, I just to round it out. So in my group was Professor Kimbit, otherwise known as Daniel, and I think if I'm gonna say this, hopefully your name's right, Ray and Christian, and then also Jim from San Diego. Oh, so Ray and Christian are from Calgary, my hometown.
No. Morgan Hill, California, not San Diego.
California. And then also, where did she go?
Who are you looking for?
Terry, okay, from Massachusetts. So that was really fun. And I think one of the fun moments is that, I think, was it Jim? Did you compare Andrea to
George
Costanza?
Janet is the George Costanza of the show.
Complete with the terrible dancing. So anyway, yeah.
Elaine dance moves too.
Yeah, that was really fun. We had a great group.
Yeah.
Yeah, glad to hear it. Yeah. And I know, well, you know, the same thing happened with our other party. We just we had one round, and then that was it. We just, you know, in terms of timing, it's hard to obviously get enough time to not only talk about yourself, but like just to go on and into deeper conversations. So again, if there are any groups that want to say something, I don't want you to miss out on your opportunity. Please let me know in the chat. In the meantime, I'm going to put up the slide back up because I want to do this. So we just finished the Mingle Sessions. So you guys may have to, actually, you don't need to use your Menti at this point. There's nothing interactive. These are just information slides. So you can kind of look at what's on my screen here. So I was going to reserve this time, as I mentioned earlier on, when people registered, they marked that they wanted to say something about the show or about, you know, how the characters, the actors, how the whole Kim's Convenience experience has impacted them. Now, before we get to that, I want to do the door prize, okay? Because I think it's really exciting. Only my wife knows what it is because I shared it with her. But sort of as a thank you to everyone who's stuck around. So unfortunately, if you're not here, I'm going to have to spin the wheel until we find someone who's present. So you guys are wondering, what am I talking about? Sorry, let me just find. I'm not used to sharing so much content at a time, so just give me a sec to find what it is I'm looking for, and then, all right, here we go.
Is
So,
Andrea at this event?
say again?
Oh no, I was just wondering if this was the event that Andrea was at, and I was like, no, this isn't that one.
Just to give a little background on this picture, this was the season 4 premiere together at this theater called Bad Dog Theater, which where
It's
Andrew
no
does.
longer available.
Yeah, Andrew did his improv there when he was in town, and then he moved to Toronto, so that was just his thing. Anyway.
Okay, so I'm just going to talk a little bit about what's going to happen in the next few minutes, and then we can sort of take it from there. So I'm going to do the door prize. Let me share this screen with you now. Okay, so I have a wheel. Eugene got really excited because it's a wheel, and he's been on the Wheel of Fortune, as well as the big wheel on Price is Right. So here's a listing of all of the registrants. So we had 51 registered, not including myself, which is a pretty decent turnout. So right now it's in alphabetical order. I want to assure that everyone who registered and showed up is on that list. So what I'm gonna do is, just to make sure everything's legit. So the first place winner of the trivia was Mike. Now, Mike is my co-host, so it won't seem
no, that doesn't count, man.
proper. So, and then Chris was the runner-up. So I mean, we don't really have close ties, right? I mean, we're good buds as Kimbits, but let's have you choose.
I don't know what you're trying to say.
Basically, I'm going to ask you to choose a number, not too high, but just give me maybe a number from, say, 1 to 20. I'm going to shuffle that many times.
17. 17.
17. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay. And then I'm going to spin. And then the winner. Oh, wait, I didn't tell you what the prize was, did I?
No, the suspense.
Whoops. Okay. I did it in reverse order, but I'll show you the prize after we declare who the winner is. And if you see your name appear, just shout and say, I'm here. Otherwise,
I see my name. It's right there. It's spinning around.
If I don't see your name being called out in the chat or live on camera, then I'll have to move on to the next name. Man, I'm awful, but okay, I'm gonna spin the wheel right now. Totally random.
You're terrific, Chi-Hung. We love you.
And the winner is Jennifer Hooker. Is she here?
I don't think she is.
I think she left. Yeah.
No, you might
You
need
can
to
just type.
Yeah, you might need to spin again.
Hold on. I'm going to take a quick look at the participants list.
Yeah.
Karen says spin again.
She seems to be missing. Yeah.
Oh, she
Yeah, I
left.
think she
Okay.
left.
All right. Okay. She said goodbye to everyone. All right. So I did sort of mention this condition that you had to be here early on. So I feel bad, but
Jim says he hopes the grand prize is the ownership of Mimi's Variety, which is the actual Kim store.
I didn't drop 200 grand to purchase the rights to give this away. Yeah, if you don't mingle, you stay prizeless, as well as being single. So we'll spin again.
I want to make that a meme.
Should.
Is Joanne? Joe, are you here?
Joe.
She's here.
She's here.
Well, I see Joe.
Ninja Kimbit.
Yeah.
You are there?
Sneak attack.
I see you.
I am here.
All right. So congratulations, Joe.
Congratulations.
You have won. Let me transition.
It's like
let me transition back to this screen.
All expense
roll.
to Queen and Sherburne.
All right. So she wins.
Ooh, Janet's
Oh, that's the Janet dress.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So this is the dress that Andrea Bang wore for the season 2 premiere, or not premiere, season 2 promotional shoot.
wow.
Wow.
Andrea reached out to me, expressed her regrets at not being able to attend.
Aw.
And she had offered this dress
Didn't she
as a
kiss Jack
prize.
Tamsin in that dress?
This is pre-Tamsin.
This is Raj era? Is that Raj era?
Raj era, technically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, pre-Raj, technically.
Okay.
It'd be like post-Alex.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because this was, I mean, it was between season 1 and 2. Well, actually, we don't know the timing of the photo shoot. I could have technically happened after season 2 was filmed, but
That's true.
so this is the prize. I will get in touch with you and connect you with Andrea. We'll figure out how to get the prize. So congratulations.
Congrats.
All right, so now we go back to the thank yous. So I just want to say at this point, thank you all for joining. If you have to log off, I know it's late. It's past 10 for some of you on different time zones. Maybe you're waiting to have dinner on the West Coast. If you need to do that, certainly you can feel free to jump off. We will continue this. I don't want to give it a hard cap, but I know that some people have signed up and they wanted to say their thank yous to the cast or to the show, or just to get something off of their chest to show their appreciation for the show. So I'm going to call out some people who have signed up. And if you're still willing to talk, certainly here's your opportunity. We are still recording this, so this will be available on YouTube. We'll have it embedded on the kimbits.org website. I don't think I had anything else in terms of slides other than sort of, end of the presentation. So we're going to proceed to the thank yous now. If you have to go, thank you for your attendance. I'm going to say my own thank yous at the end. So if you do need to go, we'll say an okseeyou until next time. But for all of you that are able to stay, we're going to go to our first representative.
Just before we do, Ji-Hung, I just want to say one thing. Just like to say a quick thanks to you for hosting this. I mean, setting up all the prizes, setting up all the slides. This is a lot of work to do.
Yes, yes.
If we can all just give a quick little round of applause for Ji-Hung for putting all this together and bringing us all together for one last buy, or maybe it is not the last one, but yeah, thanks, Ji-Hung.
Yeah, my pleasure. And of course, we'll still have the podcast that'll extend our reach a little bit. Whether or not we have another one of these Zoom parties, we'll see. I mean, we don't, never say never. But thanks for that, Mike, and thank you for co-hosting tonight. So we'll just. Oh, you know what? That reminds me. I did have something else I wanted to share with you before we go to our first presenter. I'm just going to privately message them in the chats to see if they're still available, if they want to speak. And then I just wanted to quickly show you guys something which I found to be quite enjoyable. Excuse me. Okay, so sorry, I'm going to queue up the video and then we'll take a look at this. All right, so share screen. Here we go.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Number one.
I wake up with BT.
That was almost half a ring. That's how quick it was. Quick, smooth, easy. Who are we speaking with?
My name is Lisa.
Lisa, where are you living, Lisa?
North York,
Nice.
area.
Yeah.
Is Lisa gonna cry? I'm gonna cry.
Lisa cries. Lisa.
Yeah, I'm crying because of the winning and also my favorite show.
Oh, thanks, Lisa.
Ended last night. So.
Lisa, we thought you were going to sing this show.
Sid's like, oh, thanks, Lisa.
Yeah,
You're like,
thanks.
was it Kim's Convenience?
Kim's Convenience. Shout out Kim's Convenience.
Shout out to them. See, well, that ended abruptly, too.
That
There's a
was
whole
amazing.
thing
No, that's a whole
behind
other
that.
thing.
But I've been holding my phone for days. I will tell you that.
So that was the voice of our own Kimbit Lisa. So this was a promotion on breakfast television in Toronto, where I guess you had to say that phrase when they called you up, and if you say the phrase, you win the money. And of course, this happened on the Wednesday right after the series finale. So she was emotional from the end of the episode. She couldn't join us here tonight, unfortunately, but what a perfect time for, this to happen, right? Not only the prize itself, but you could tell she was emotional, and then unintentionally kind of trolling Sid Sixero, who is a sportscaster. He's not used to waking up this early. I mean, it looks like it's 8:14 local time, but still, it was. I was cracking up. Just they thought she was talking about this breakfast television, but in fact she was talking about Kim's Convenience. So I thought that was quite funny.
Yep.
Okay, so all right, so our first guest is Eugene. Yun.
Hello.
Hello, Eugene. Some of you know him as a game show contestant. Some of you know him as an HQD. Eugene has appeared in several game shows, including The Price is Right, Wheel of Fortune, $100,000 Pyramid?
Yeah, that's right.
And he's hosted HQ Trivia as well as HQ Words. I mean, these are all accolades, but of course he's here as a Kimbit. And if you, I don't have this video queued up, but at the end of his hosting HQ Trivia, he did drop an okseeyou, so that was epic. So Eugene, thank you for being on with us. You've talked about your own experience. I know I'm just quickly reading your text here. So can you talk to us about how, the entertainment media, their portrayal of Koreans in general, but also about Kim's Convenience, how it relates to you?
Yeah, so Kevin touched on this when sharing for Group 2 earlier, but I first discovered the show in October 2016 when the show was starting through promo videos that were posted on YouTube. And I instantly became a Kimbit before knowing what a Kimbit was. I saw myself in Janet as a child of immigrant parents myself. I saw myself in Appa as a father of my own 3 kids. I saw my parents in Appa Nama. As mentioned earlier, I saw my prodigal son, older brother in Chiang as well. It made me feel represented as an Asian American, but more importantly, in my opinion, it made me look at myself and my own family and challenged me to learn to do better myself. The show opened doors to have conversations with non-Asian friends and colleagues about my background and social issues that I don't think I would have been able to have without the show. And last but not least, the show has thoroughly entertained me. It has made me laugh and cry like no other show has. As many of us have expressed, I mean, disappointed that the show has ended. But thankful for the treasure that are the shows that we do have, and we can rewatch because it's the gift that keeps on giving. I think all the things that I talked about before, you can still derive that value from watching the shows again. So anyway, yeah, and very honored and privileged also to have interacted and to have met all of you. I think the Kimbit community is what is a big part of what makes this show great. So,
thanks
for that. Everyone.
Yeah, thanks, Eugene. And for some reason, the cast has gotten to know you, even though they've never met you. And I think that could be said. I mean, you've got a bit of a higher profile because of your game show appearances, but anyone that's kind of followed the cast, especially Paul or Andrew, they've done a fabulous job in following back, and it's just those small gestures that make a big difference. And I don't think that's going to end, even though the show is coming to an end. So if you found that their performances touched you and that you're fans of theirs, then I'd say please continue to support them. Not only the main characters, but the secondary characters as well in the cast. So thanks for joining us, Eugene. So I'm going to call on next Christian and Ria.
There we go. Sorry, had trouble unmuting. Yeah, so I'm Christian. This is my partner, Ray. And the story that we wanted to share is perhaps a bit more Ray's story, but she told it in the breakout room. So now I'll tell it, and then people who are with us can compare. But our first experience of Kim's Convenience was with the play. We're from Calgary, and it was being put on by Theatre Calgary here. And Ray had gone and see it on a bit of a lark, not really knowing what it was, and was deeply moved by it. She saw it on her own, and was deeply moved by the fact that she saw herself on the stage. And for those of you who don't know Calgary, it's demographically it's diverse, but culturally it's pretty white and conservative. You know, so she had never thought that she would see a representation of people like her family, people like her community, even though she's Filipino and the characters are Korean. She never thought she'd see that on a professional stage. Okay? And we had been going out for
less than a year.
I'm going to say 6 months at that point.
Yeah.
But I don't remember for sure. And she took me to the play because she said, like, not only is it a great show, but this will really give you an insight into, like, sort of my life, you know. And it really did, like, as sort of a, you know, Caucasian, middle class, whatever guy, approaching middle age at that time. It really did sort of open a door into, you know, what it's like to be, you know, the child of Asian immigrants, to grow up in more of like a, well, I guess we both grew up in sort of working class communities, but we had very different life experiences. And so it really gave me an insight into more the, you know, the Asian immigrant experience, you know, and then, like, I grew up here, but, you know, my own family were immigrants, but, you know, were more established, I guess, by the time I was born. So it was just a really meaningful moment for both of us, where she saw representation and I got insight into, like, an aspect of her life and her background.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. So Ray, when you watched it the second time around, did you find yourself looking over at your husband for his reaction, having already seen it? Like,
well, yeah, for sure. We hadn't been going out for very long, so it was a nice little barometer test of, you know, is this person equipped to be an ally? You know, are they interested in knowing about my background and everything I'm about? So, you know, 8 years later, that play was in 2013. You know, things are great. He's the best ally I've ever had.
Yeah.
and as a Filipino Canadian in Calgary, I definitely need that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Like, I know that, you know, with my wife Karen and I, we have some shared interests, but I know that she's engaged in something like a TV show or a movie when she kind of looks over at me to see my reaction to what we're watching. So that's something I certainly noticed. So good night. I see some people dropping. So good night, everyone. Thanks again for joining us. So up next we have Daniel Wong. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. So we've seen you. You were spotlighted in the you know, what is a Kimbit video that CBC had produced, and you know, you're a fellow Markham resident, and you in your registration you talked about how you weren't ever like a big super fan of any TV show prior to Kim's Convenience. Can you talk more about what sort of made you so devoted to this series?
Well, certainly the identification with the family, the character, and I also saw the stage play before it showed. And maybe just a bit of a caveat that when I got to ask Ins Choi before he was famous, to come to our school, which is Tyndale University, and put on a play which is called Subway Stations of the Cross. So he actually shared with me at that point that you know, Kim's Convenience was going to be going to TV, and he was a bit of like mixed feelings, you know, very excited, but also a bit apprehensive about that. So I don't know, maybe that gives us some more insight into Ins, and just glad I got a chance to meet him and many of the other cast. So just I think mainly because of the interaction of social media by the cast really kind of drew me in and connected me with all of you as well. So just, trying to be a fan, trying to attend the different events. And I've shared that the improv by Andrew and others there, those are the only comedy shows I've ever been to, and it's with you guys. So it's like, yeah, it's as a fan, it's drawn me in different ways. And I know some of you guys are more super fans, and I've been to some events, but not to all the events.
Yeah, and what you speak of is true. Like for me, I'm not a big comedy guy either. Like when I like live comedy, I mean, like when I laugh, it's typically like I'll laugh inside, and so I mean that's the worst. Like for comedy crowds, you want the big chuckles and the loud noises that you just belly laughs and that sort of thing. But I also, like, I wasn't a huge fan of, well, I was going to say I wasn't a huge fan of anything, which isn't quite true, but I'll say I haven't been a huge fan of a TV show where you'd have that sort of following. I was never part of a following. And it wasn't until, by chance I was working downtown at the time, and they were doing that Real Asian Film Festival. They were screening a couple of episodes of Kim's Convenience. And at the time I had a young child at home, and I asked my wife, Karen, like, is it okay if I go to this event? I kind of like the show, and I'd like to, find out more, meet the cast. I'm not sure if they actually advertised the cast as being there, but anyway, so I attended that, and that it sort of.
I was there too, yeah.
Yeah, and it was that interaction with Paul that really cemented it for me. And then it was shortly thereafter the social media interaction with the cast and the fellow fans, and it just it's grown to the point where we have this presence. I wasn't the founder of Kimbits 416, but I kind of took over the reins when it was the original founder decided to move on to other things. I mean, that happens, so just to get from there to here 5 years later, it just it speaks to not only the fandom but the community that has been fostered. It's just I haven't really met a Kimbit that hasn't wanted to engage and talk glowingly. And I know we have our own feelings about the ending. I know we kind of touched upon this early on with the anger or the sadness and all that, but I mean, overwhelmingly, it's been great, and there's no reason not to think that in some capacity this will continue. I mean, maybe not Kim's Convenience proper, but it could be Strays, or it could be these other projects that the casts are involved with. So thank you for your
that community is special, and I really appreciate all of you and social media and different ways that we've connected. Are you the only one that's gotten a head flick?
With my hair?
No, got flicked on the,
yeah, he's flicked me a few times. I mean,
I wonder if anybody else has had that experience. You're special.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, but
I'm one of the few that's been to the studio. Yeah,
yes.
I got snuck into the studio. So
that's right.
Because my daughter was working for Cineplex, and she knew Jonathan, the publicist, and so I think she owed him a favor, vice versa. And it's really good to actually, see the set.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I remember seeing you in your the handy uniform, so that was cool. So yeah, thanks for sharing, Daniel.
Thank you.
Yeah, so up next is Brandi Woods. So Brandi is a newer Kimbit. She discovered Paul in The Mandalorian and then decided to check out his other show.
Oh yeah, as I was saying out in the breakout group, I saw him in The Mandalorian, and there was a fairly startling resemblance because he looks a lot like my best friend who was in New Jersey, and I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. What else has this guy been in? So I put on Kim's Convenience the next day, and like from the first minute I was just hooked, and I did all 4 seasons in a little bit just under 2 weeks, and then I restarted. And during that time I found out that my cat had cancer, so the support that I was able to pull from the show, just giving me something to laugh about and look forward to the next episodes, and that really helped get me through a very bleak time. And just like I started listening to interviews with Paul and Andrew, and it's just like they're so genuine, and that like really struck me, because that honesty and genuineness and just really good people, and you don't see that a lot, especially these days. And I just sort of like fan for life instantly. And yeah, it was really hard to, you know, get that into a show that quickly, and then like a few months later it's like, oh well, lost that, you know. So
yeah,
really sucks. But yeah, it's great to have found something like that. And you know, definitely following the cast. I've got my parents hooked on the show now. They're in the States, so they're waiting for season 5. So
yeah, and there's I think there's still a theatrical run that's happening on the sort of the West Coast. Obviously not with the same actors, but the guy who plays Jimmy Young on the show is playing the role of Appa in that iteration. So, you know, with the schedules clear for some of the actors, I mean, it's certainly possible that there may be more stage tours of Kim's Convenience. But in some capacity, I think there will be remnants, as mentioned. The What You Talkin' podcast is a great secondary resource. So if you haven't tuned into the episodes, you know, a lot of us here today have been guests on the podcast. We talked about, you know, the first couple of seasons, they were really in-depth episode coverage. You know, you basically, Mike and Ruby talked about all of the plot points. Changed up the format a little bit last season, and this upcoming season, I think it's going to take a little bit of a different spin as well. But that's certainly a great companion, you know, for the show if you're going to binge it again. But yeah, I can understand. Just you know, you just discovered this new show, this new series, and then you find out that it's, you know, it's not continuing. So that really sucks. Especially, I mean, is it worse or better or worse, like to be a longtime fan or to be a new fan? I'd say it's equally not pleasant to say that. So thank you for sharing, Brandi. I've gone through my list, and I think we've covered everyone else. So I just want to give you the remaining people here an opportunity. We're at 10:30 Eastern time, but again, if you haven't had a chance to say something and you would like to, just please write in the chat, and we'll get you your few minutes.
Yeah, that was really great to get all these. I mean, I've listened to a lot of fans talk about the show over the years, and it's great to see new fans like Brandi come up and discover the show. And the show's always brought a lot of people a lot of comfort in different ways. So it's yeah. Well, and we just saw Eugene leave. Eugene's been on the podcast. He's told a lot of his stories. I'm looking around the room. I mean, I've met or had the chance to speak to a lot of you, and it's great to meet again new fans like Brandi and Ria and Christian, and Terry. I actually haven't met Terry, but yeah.
Yeah, Mike has done a fantastic job in reaching out to fellow fans. I know at these, you know, at the fan events, like you call yourself an introvert, but you really do engage with people in line, and I think I need to do a bit more of that myself.
Oh, you're not looking at my sweaty armpits. I'm definitely an introvert.
Yeah, or I mean, but you, in terms of the cast, like everyone knows you. Whereas with me, and I've kind of explained to you sort of off camera, that I kind of gravitate towards people I know. So it's not because, you know, I'm being a snob. It's just I don't know this person. How do I introduce myself? And it's tough. I remember the first time I was meeting Gene and Ben, who plays Gerald. Ben was chatting it up with this attractive woman, and I wasn't sure. I didn't know he was involved in a relationship. And I thought he was trying to get with this girl, and they were talking for a long time. I'm like, oh man, I'm trying to look for an opening to say hi. And then I asked somebody, it might've been you, Mike. I asked somebody, is Ben, like, what's happening there? Should I go up and say hi? And then eventually I did. And I think that person was like a showrunner or somehow involved with the crew.
Was she blonde?
Was she blonde?
He had his girlfriend at one of the Bad Dog shows.
Yeah, I know.
No, I think it was the person. She was coordinating the promos. I can't remember her name. She was at one of the,
I think she kind of looked like Chelsea, more like Chelsea than blonde.
Okay.
Yeah. But certainly, with this pandemic, it's kind of, obviously it's put a close on, conventions and that sort of thing. But Paul had mentioned in his sort of reaction video that his plan is to, once we're on the other side of the pandemic, that he wants to hold a big get together at Storm
Crow
Manor, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is it's a pub, but it's also like geek themed. So they have like, I don't know what it is. I've had a lot of like my other geek friends mention it, and it's somewhere where Paul has endorsed for a long time. And he says they have really good food there too. So if you are in town, we'll probably be announcing it to everyone. We can call it a mini Kim's convention. So whenever that happens, come out if you can. Especially you, Kevin. You're going to come up here.
Yeah, Maggie says Mike is the most extroverted introvert she's ever known.
Extroverted introvert. Okay.
With, I don't know if it's Ray or Christian, somebody said, I have trouble unmuting. I want to put that on a t-shirt. I have trouble unmuting. I'm an introvert.
All right, so I want to make sure everyone has had a chance to talk if they'd like to. I'm going to wrap things up. Oh, I see a hand raised. Whose hand is that?
Terry's.
Terry. Yes, please go ahead, Terry.
Hi everybody. I just want to say that I've only seen seasons 1 through 4, but I've seen each episode many times. And I want to say that the writers did such an excellent job. When you mentioned Ben, who plays Gerald, I think that's right. I'm still not great with the names, but I know Gerald. How they even fleshed out his character over the seasons. These are fully formed people and characters, and that's what kind of makes it a little harder to understand that other writers or other whoever that somebody thinks writers would not be able to come in and write for these characters because they've already been so fleshed out and they've been so, we've seen, heard so much of their backgrounds and their growth as characters. And that's kind of just what I wanted to say. And it's been awesome because I don't know anybody else in real life that's a fan. My husband tolerates watching it. He doesn't not like it, but anyway, it's been so awesome just listening to everybody tonight. And thank you so much for organizing this.
Yeah, you're welcome. And my pleasure, Terry. And I can appreciate how difficult it can be to, to be interested in something and not be able to share that interest. And but with us Kimbits, there's so many that you can share discussions with. And again, I wanted to plug the website kimbits.org. It is a blogging platform, but it is more than that. So we can also post videos, as I mentioned, or so your blog posts don't necessarily need to be about Kim's Convenience. Obviously that is the focus, but I guess I wanted to really open that up as a forum for people if they just want to talk about their interests or whatever, or something that's important.
Or conspiracy theories.
Well,
I'm looking at you, Kevin. But yeah, I mean, like the Kimbits.org, again, thanks Chi-Hung for putting it up. I think it's a great platform for fans like us to share your thoughts, share anything. Because I mean, I think one of the cast members mentioned that they have seen it before and seen posts there. So if you want to reach out and have them read it, this is the best way to do it.
Yeah, and I'm also looking for, if you're big into Instagram, I'm not really. If you are big into Instagram and you would like to be involved in sort of administrating.
Administrating,
anyway,
yeah.
If you want to get involved in helping out posting Kim's Convenience artwork. I just don't have enough hours in the day, and I've kind of let that slide a little bit. I know Daniel is a big Instagrammer. He's posted lots of great photos of of wildlife and of flowers. It's beautiful. Go check out Daniel on Instagram. He could be like a wildlife photographer. Does a great job there. But just a note about Terry, about what you were saying about fully fleshed out characters. And it's true. It's only a half-hour program. It's only 13 episodes per season, but you get you get a great feeling of depth about the characters in the short amount of time that they occupy the screen. And if you listen into the upcoming episode, upcoming season of the podcast, you may get a little bit more insight about the behind the scenes, about what happens in terms of the writing process or the decisions that go into not only creating the show, but maybe why things didn't work out. So we'll see what direction the podcast takes this season.
A lot of pressure, Chi-Hung. A lot of pressure. I wasn't planning that deep, and now you're all these things.
Hey,
expectations now,
and also cast interviews and
fan
fiction.
Right.
And
yeah, we're gonna tell the real end of Kim's Convenience. But yeah, if any of you ever want to talk about Kim's, I mean anybody in this room.
Where did you get that?
Daniel's got an advanced
Chiang t-shirt.
Chiang t-shirt. Yeah.
Daniel.
Show that again, Daniel.
I got that a long time ago. Yeah, that was pre.
Now, does that come in a shirtless version? Because Siemens probably has a shirtless version of that.
Yeah, that's right. Tattooed on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. I don't know if it's your daughter's connections, but
I ordered that online. I think when they first announced the movie, it came out in different versions, but not with Shimulu, of course.
Oh, wait, I have something to show you. Be right back.
I'm actually waiting for the Funko to come out.
Well, the big problem was that there was only one Korean writer on the whole show, and once he left, they had nobody to represent that.
Yeah, it goes really deep into, I found out quite a bit doing research over the last 4 weeks about the situation, and it's something that I'm going to cover in the podcast, but that's only for the people who aren't faint of heart. It's not a great story. Yeah.
I just followed the podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to, hearing the
Take
old
your background
episodes as well
off,
as new ones.
Young.
So thank you.
Well, I mean, this goes to Terry or anybody who's discovering the show or just wants to talk about the show. I mean, we're always here to talk about the show. You can follow us on Twitter or just anywhere you can find us. Like, we're always happy to talk about it. Oh, there he goes. He's got the action figure.
Oh,
but this is not the Simu version. This is just the.
It's getting blurred
generic.
For copyright.
I think it's more Simu because it is shirtless.
Yeah.
When did you get that?
Says his wife.
It's like always like random Amazon packages.
No, it's in the basement. Like it's up on my shelf.
Between the mattresses.
It's been here for a while.
He wrapped it with the dress that he told nobody about.
So, sorry, I'm just playing around with my filters here. So I just wanted to thank everyone for their attendance. The creator interviews Kevin wants to hear on the podcast.
Creator interviews.
But again, thank you all for coming out tonight. I know it's been a tough adjustment going into the off season. I mean, we used to have the upcoming season to look forward to, but know that there are other projects in the works that we can gravitate towards. In terms of Kimbits 416, we'll still continue in some capacity. Even the main Kim's Convenience socials are still active because there's still the US, there's still the international distribution that has to be worked out, and we don't have any details to share at this time. Nothing's been announced about when season 5 will be available, but in terms of our Kimbits celebration as a wrap party, we had lots of fun with the trivia and the interaction. This video will be available on YouTube and on the kimbits.org. So look for it soon. We'll say that. And I want to thank again Mike for co-hosting with me tonight. Stephen for helping to administer the Kimbits 416 Twitter. Jay, I don't think we've seen him join tonight, but for
I haven't seen him at all.
yeah, Jay for starting the Facebook group.
Yeah.
So that's been huge. And then for all of you for being Kimbits and for being fans of this show and supporting it all these years. And
my pleasure.
Yeah, Chris, we'll get together again sometime for a Kimbits reunion. And if any of you that are out of town that are coming into town, reach out to myself, or actually reach out to Kimbits 416. I'll sort of do a broadcast, and whoever's available during that time, we'll coordinate something, and we'll see if we can maybe do a store tour. I still haven't visited the store. I would like to one day, and maybe
At all?
No, not at all. I missed out. So one of these days.
We can give you the grand tour as well. Like Chris is I call him Detective Kimbit because he knows all the places, and I went with him up one time.
And Mel and Colin get them together.
Where people went. So
well, yeah. So sounds good. I think I'll do that. So to sort of paraphrase what Paul usually signs off with, I should have rehearsed this better, but take care of yourselves. Don't touch your face. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Did I miss anything?
You pretty much covered it. Yeah.
Take care of yourselves, and okay, see you.
Thanks, Chi-Hung.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Night. Thank you, everyone.
Night.
Good night. It's been great talking with all of you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and find everybody on social media.
Nice meeting you, Terry.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, bye guys.
Okay.
Oh, I'm seeing, is there any way I could copy the chat? Because I'm seeing that people are posting their info.
Save chat.
Yep. Click on the 3 dots and then click save chat after you click on 3 dots.
Which 3? Well, okay, so I'm sorry. Duh. So I have the chat open, or do I not open it?
Yeah, open the chat, and then sort of right above where you can,
somewhere.
Right above where it says type message here, you'll see to the right of that, next to the file icon. You should see 3 dots.
I'm on an iPad. I'm on an iPad mini. I'm not seeing that, and I just know because I go to other meetings on Zoom that it looks different, like on different.
Yeah, it does.
Who's on an iPad that can help Terry?
What's that? I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just reaching out. If anyone else is using an iPad, that might be able to offer some assistance.
Yeah, it just says close or like ring. There's like a bell here. I don't know what. I don't want to click on it. Should I click on it?
Sure.
You can, but I think that's.
It just means mute. All right, never mind. I'm not muting. All right. I took a screenshot of everybody's names, and maybe I could do a screenshot with people's. Okay, I just took a screenshot with. Okay, let me grab a few more. Scroll back and. I'm sorry to keep talking.
No, it's all good.
All good.
And today was Daniel. I already followed you from my cat account, so I'll follow you from my human account too. No, I'm a cat lady too.
Is that where that one framed from?
Did you see it already?
Yeah, I think
I'm
I saw
a goof. I'm a goof. Brandi, that's why I could sew. I'm a cat lady. I could sew. Relate. And I also have an adult son with mental illness, and he ended up in the hospital last June. I'm telling you, Kim's Convenience, when I would want to go to sleep and my mind, I would put that on at night when I was trying to unwind. It was like a salve to my soul. It really was, this show. It's really hard to explain. You guys get it, just what it means to a person, There's just something special about this show. And again, I hate to keep talking because sometimes I don't know when to stop talking, but okay, I'm going to go back into the chat. And
what is it Shannon said before? Just tell me to stop talking. Shannon. on the show.
Yep. So I'm gonna be the captain of this ship. So you go first.
Go down with it.
No, you go first.
Okay, bye, everybody. It's been
Okay,
great
bye.
meeting you.
Take
Bye
care,
bye.
Terry.
Okay,
Bye.
thanks, bye.
I'm staying as long as anybody else wants. I was just
bye.
thinking, like,
Yeah.
Kim's Convenience, is there any other show that has an actual place in a city that you can go to? Like
the Cheers bar? Is there a
There's-
Cheers
well,
bar
there is
somewhere?
there was a bar, but it wasn't called Cheers. But yeah, that's close.
Oh,
Well, there's in Boston there is sort of a version of it that you can buy
Yeah.
memorabilia.
or the Central Perk. It's like,
That's not real.
that's not real. I don't
It's
know.
not real. Well, the
Those apartments aren't
Punk's
real.
Cafe was different.
Yeah,
None of
not in
that's
New
real.
York. Not for what they were paying.
Hey, Mike. So Maria was in my group, and she was saying
You
that.
had my sister. Oh,
Yeah,
did she
she's-
say anything? Sorry, I know I'm
Well,
interrupting.
she did. She said that you are her Jung, apparently, and that she
She's
didn't-
calling you dumb.
Calling him
I'm
pretty.
not the shirtless one, and she isn't, so I don't know where that's coming from.
and that she wasn't a big fan of the show. I mean, whatever. But that it wasn't until I think your mom kind of explained how great it was that
Yeah.
she decided to give it a try.
That's when I knew the show was special. That's because I was already like 5 episodes in, and then I decided to show my mom. It was the one with Frank, and she was just like, "Oh, this is really funny." And I'm like, "Wait, you're not like, you didn't find this, offensive or anything?" And she's like, "No, this is really funny." So we started to watch episodes together, and she really got into it, especially I think we powered through seasons 1 and 2 with her. So
Yeah.
and yeah, that's when I knew it was good. I didn't know my sister's story because it's my sister. So
Yeah. Well, she told me that because she had young kids, she didn't really have time to be watching TV, and so that was part of it. But as they got a bit older, then she was able to, to spend a little time watching the series, and obviously she's a big fan now.
she has no choice. She has to hear about listen to my podcast every
Hey,
time I see
Maggie.
her. Bye, Maggie.
Bye. Good night.
See you at Stormcrow.